Hi everyone, I'm Carol Keller, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Illinois, and I have some paper pumpkin card alternatives for you today. And I made them with this month's kit, which is called Inked Occasions. I love them all. I made several different ones, and I used all of the card bases, kind of, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I like to cut them apart and use them to make more cards because the backs are so beautiful. That's what I did today. I actually used 2 complete card bases to make 6 cards, which I'll show you, and then I used basically half of a card base to make another one, so that if you want to, you can still make the cards as they come in the kit or do other alternatives. And I basically just used the stamps and the dies that are companions to the kit. And for the first card, I've used all 4 of the dies, so that was really fun. And so, like I said, you can make the cards as they come in the kit if you want to, because I didn't use any of those supplies. I just used the stamps and then the companion dies. Okay, let's get started. Here is the kit, and it comes with a Berry Burst ink spot. Here are the cards if you make them the way they come in the kit. Remember always to double check to make sure you have all your supplies. Here are the coordinating dies that I talked about a minute ago, and here they are in person. We are going to use all 4 of them for the first card, and some of them obviously will coordinate with later kits. The Hugs is the one that's supposed to coordinate with this one, but like I said, I used all of them, and I hope you like the result. And then I love this, that there is an insert that includes all of the stamps. I cut this apart and then use this as a resource to be able to see what I have, because I think that's really important. I also mark it with the month and the year so that I know where it came from. All right, and look at that gorgeous, gorgeous box. Oh, I will definitely keep that and use it for something else, but let's get started. Here is my first card, and I love this one. As I said, I used all of the dies, as you can see, the Hugs and the frame, as well as the flower and the leaves. I'm going to put that aside so we can get started right away. I did start by cutting one of the card bases in half. So this is obviously the back half of the card, so that, like I said, you can use the front half for another card, or you can make the card the way it comes in the kit. But because I cut it in half, we're going to bring in a basic white card base and attach them together. So let me grab my glue and we will put that on. And I didn't do it for this one, but if you wanted to, you could use your bone folder to kind of flatten out that little crease where it was scored. It doesn't really show that much though. I wasn't too worried about it. And so that's our card base. So this is simple once you've cut everything out, which I already have. I've got my label and my flowers, my leaves, and the word Hugs. And except for the label, everything has an adhesive sheet on the back, because I put that on before I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because that makes life much easier with these, especially with these very detailed dies like this one. And I'm just punching out the rest of the little pieces. Sometimes when you peel the backing away, the adhesive sheet away, they come out anyway, but just in case, we'll do that and get rid of those scraps. And so mostly all we're doing is assembling. We do have a little bit of stamping, but mostly it's assembling. So first I'm going to put that word Hugs on that label, die cut. Peel it away here. If I can get a section, there we go. You can also use your take your pick tool, but I find a lot of times fingernails work just as well. So we're going to put it this way so it reads straight across. You could also put it at an angle. Actually, maybe we'll do that this time. We'll put it at an angle. I couldn't decide which way it was meant to go, so try it one each way. Burnish it so that adhesive then sticks to your label. And then I just put this on with my seal. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to lay this out so I know where I want everything. And so I did want a little bit of overlap with the flowers, and I wanted them with the flowers and the label, and I wanted them to be right next to each other, like a bunch of flowers, but not necessarily overlapping. And then with the leaves coming off, and I purposely turned this one so the thicker end was by the leaves, just because I thought that looked good. So let's see. That's pretty good. All right, we will put this on. You can still reposition after you have the adhesive on the back of this and have taken the adhesive sheets off the back of those, but it kind of helps if you know where you're going. So I think we'll put that right there. Yeah. And then we'll start with these. So like I said, they've got an adhesive sheet on the back of each one. And then the center just shows some detail. That at first I thought there were pieces that came out, but they don't. So put it about here, I think. Oh yeah, I said this way, didn't I? Yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll peel the adhesive sheet off the back of this one. And place them. I just placed them right next to each other. And this one I overlapped them a little bit, but I thought this might be a better way to go. So we'll try that. And I did turn them a little bit, again, to give a little bit of interest so they weren't all going in the same direction. And then I wanted this one to overlap the label, and I did this time purposely put the thicker part over by the label. Burnish everything. Oh, I do like it at an angle, that word hugs. And then we're going to do just a little bit of stamping. So I have from the kit, I'm Here For You, and I'm going to bring in my Pool Party ink pad. And then for the inside, whoops, we got a little bit of glue there. Might need my glue eraser. Yeah. Take a little bit of that glue off with the glue eraser, but I'm not going to do that now. I will do that off camera. And then I've got another sentiment from this set that says, "Sending my love." So again, doing that in Pool Party. And that's all I did on the inside, so there's plenty of room to write a note. And then we just need some embellishments. And for that, I'm using the Rainbow Adhesive-Backed dots because they have Pool Party and Fresh Freesia. The two colors that are in the card, that's what two of the embellishments are in this set. So I just took my Pool Party ones, my Pool Party embellishments, and placed them in the center of the flowers. Whoops. Whoops. Flying embellishments. They're so big I can use my fingers. So I put those there, and if you wanted to, you could even add, let's try adding some of those small Fresh Freesia ones. And we'll put them over here. I kind of like that. All right, so that is card number one, very quick. The envelopes that come with the kit are absolutely gorgeous, but for this I would use just a regular basic white envelope and save the colored ones, or the ones that come with the kit, for the other cards, just because they coordinate better with those. But that is card number one. Okay, and as I said in my intro, I made 6 cards, or you can make 6 cards from 2 card bases. So I basically made 3 cards from 1 card base. And I'm going to show you what I did from two halves of the card bases, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, I'm going to bring these in. So this was the first card base. It's the one that has the gold flecks in it. And I cut the two big triangles, which I used, or the, well, diamonds that I used here and here, squares. And then I cut two of the smaller ones, and I used the Stylish Shapes dies for that. So I cut the second largest one, I believe, for each of these, and then the next smallest one for each of these, because I wanted those in the middle. And then I took one of the circle ones and I cut this. But when I went to, let me show you the other sheet, the other card base, and these card bases are identical on each side. So it doesn't matter which one you use, it'll still work the same way. So I cut the circle from here, and my intention was to cut another circle this size from here, but it wouldn't fit. So I did the smaller one, and that's what went here. So those were those two cards. I still had space left over, so I cut another square the same size as this one from here, and that's what went here. And then I had enough to do one more triangle and still get some color, and so I used it here. So that's what I used. But I really wanted to try, I wanted to see what it looked like with just the squares. And that's what we're going to make today. I've already cut them, but I wanted to show you how I cut them. Same thing, I took the second largest square from the Stylish Shapes dies, cut two of them. I took the next smaller one and cut two, and I ended up cutting a third one. And then from here, oh no, so these are, hang on, this was the second largest one. From here, I cut the next size down, and then the next size down after that was this one, these two, this one, and then two of these here. Because what that's going to give me is 3 more cards, and instead of the circles, I'm going to have squares, or in this case diamonds, because I'm going to turn them, and then the extras we'll use for the last card. I tried to use paper or cardstock that coordinated with the colors obviously in here. They're so beautiful. And then coordinating labels and ink and that kind of thing, coordinating embellishments. And I'll show you those at the end too, because we're going to use them for the next set of 3 cards. And so again, changing up the colors. So I am still going to change up the colors just a little bit for the next one. So maybe we'll start with this, and I'll show you what I'm doing for the first card. So actually for this one, I'm doing the same, Fresh Freesia. This one is the same. The other ones will be a little bit different. So here are the squares that I cut. And so it's going to be this way this time. And I like that better. When I was sort of playing, and that's why I cut everything out before, you know, and I couldn't show you the card bases. I couldn't do it on camera or show you how I was cutting them, because I wanted to see how this looked, to see if I liked it better with the circle in the middle or the square or the diamond. And I do like the diamond better. So it's the same, basically the same sections of the cards that were cut, and except with the squares for all of them rather than the circle for the middle one. So I've got my card base, and I can't find my bone folder, so it may be sticking up. It's here somewhere. And I'm going to do the same thing. I wanted that little bit of peach pie to show. That's what color this is, for all of them, but sort of in different spots. And so that's why I did that. I may even do it this way this time. We'll see what that looks like when it comes time. But that was my thinking. And I did try doing it on a peach pie card base, but I thought it was too much. So, and I'm more of a purple pinky girl than I am a peachy girl. So I went with this. But you definitely could use a peach pie card base if that is your favorite. So we've got some seal here. I used my grid to try to line it up top and bottom so that I knew it was straight, and then, you know, just sort of eyeballing that it's in the middle, but using this and this to hopefully make it straight. You can't always adjust it. I'm not going to kind of push it down till the end, till I know I'm happy with the placement, but I did that for all of them. So, and just looking to see that there's the same amount of space here and here, and lining up the points again, top and bottom, side to side with this one. Looks pretty good. So I've just kind of pressed it in place slightly, and then we'll take the last one and put it here. So again, I want it all the way to the edge, lined up here, because that's where it is on this side, and then top and bottom with this one. Looks pretty good. So I love it. I love the paper, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but the grid, definitely grid on the glass mat or grid paper, that either one will help you to line it up nicely. And then again, from the Stylish Shapes dies, I cut a label, and we're going to use a different stamp from the kit that says thinking of you. And I used, pretty sure I used Highland Heather instead of using, I thought of using Flirty Flamingo, but I decided to use Highland Heather. You can see it doesn't quite fit, and that's why usually I will say stamp first and then cut it out. But I was also having issues with it's very long, and the first time I tried to cut it out, I didn't have the right size, and I didn't leave enough room. So it's easier, I think, to cut out the die cut and then do your stamping. So I'm gonna kind of straighten it out here. And I looked at that of you to make sure it was straight and centered. And so it fits almost entirely, just a little bit of glue there, almost entirely. So I think it was close enough. I was happy with that. And I used fresh Freesia on that one. But I think the Thinking of You, I like it better, I think, with the Highland Heather. So we're going to go with that, and we'll use Highland Heather on the inside. So Thinking of You, and then we're going to use Sending My Love for the inside. But it's just a little bit off. I was wondering if it was bent, and I think it is. But that, well, we'll leave it out because we'll see what we're doing for the next card. But that, oh yeah, I really like that, the progression. And then I just kind of tucked it under. And yeah, I can't decide. Actually, I think I kind of like this one better because there's not too much. It's a little bit of Highland, well, a little bit of Highland Heather here, but I like that you can read it more easily. So again, kind of personal preference, but we're going to put that on with some seal. And I'm tucking it under that middle diamond, but I'm also placing it with just a little bit of a border on the bottom and at the edge, like that. And so see, with the circle, it's completely above the label die cut, and this one it overlaps a little, but I still think it's, you know, you can read it and it's fine, so I'm happy with that. And then for our embellishments, we're using the Regal foiled adhesive-backed dots. So I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and these are Berry Burst, but they're very light, and I think they work very well. That's what I used on the first card, so we're going to use that again. And I like the placement. We're going to do this. Scatter them around the card. Yeah, I think maybe up here. And press those, and then that's the second card. So the next card is similar to this, obviously, in design. So I'll move that aside, and I'll show you what my other one looked like. So this time we are using a different color card base. We're starting off with Pool Party. So again, just picking up one of the other colors in the die cuts that I made from the card base. So same thing, and then I just cut the square instead of the circle. And this was a smaller circle than that was on the other card too. Let me bring that back and show you, like I said, because I couldn't cut one of the same size, so this one was smaller. So this will be a little larger, which I like. We are going to do the same thing, just pop those right on with some seal. Again, using my grid to kind of line it up. Let's move it over to where there's an actual line. That looks good. And then we'll take the next one. Do the same thing. And so I just put the darker piece up at the top. I'm going to do the same thing again. So make sure it's straight. That looks pretty good. And then the last one, again, straightening it and lining it up. All right, I'm happy with that. So this time, instead of having a pool party die cut, I am using Highland Heather. And we will still use the Highland Heather ink. This time we're gonna do a congratulations card. And this fits nicely in here, but we are also going to use it again on a smaller label from this set, which you'll see in a minute. Let's make that straight. But you see the congratulations fits nicely in here. I actually did this card first because I knew it would fit better, and then I decided I wanted to try the thinking of you, and I was happy with the result. I thought it fit well enough. I was happy with that. For the inside, we have several options for sentiments. So included in the kit is congratulations, and there's on your retirement, to the happy couple, and you are amazing. So since I don't know what I want to use it for yet, I'm going to use the you are amazing. That looks a little crooked too. Let's see. That looks better. So we'll move that aside, bring this in. Yeah, that's better. And we just have to put this on, doing the same thing, tucking it under, and this time we'll be able to see the word a little better because we're gonna move it over here a little bit, and that will fit nicely so we can read the whole word. So we'll put some seal on there. Again, tucking it under first, and then moving it a little bit like that. So all we need is the embellishments. For this card, I use the purple fine shimmer gems, and I think I'm going to do the same thing for this one. So I just used the Highland Heather, and we could use, this is Berry Burst. I believe this is Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather, so I used the Highland Heather for, or I think I used the Gorgeous Grape for those. I used the Gorgeous Grape. This time I think I am going to use the Highland Heather. I think we'll just use those. So we'll put maybe a larger one down here, and then two of the smaller ones maybe up here. It's always a hard decision to try to decide where to place them. I don't know if you find that, but I do. All right, let's see, since this one is jumping, see if we can push it over here. Do it up a little bit. And I think that'll be good. So that is the second card. Sorry, again, no bone folder, so they're popping up. But that is the second one. And then for the third one, here was my original that I did the first time, and I'm using a different color palette, similar of course, but a little bit different. This time I thought I would try a Petunia Pop card base, and Petunia Pop is not actually one of the colors listed, I don't believe. in the kit, but I thought it coordinated, so that's what we're going to use this time. And now I have, because I was able, using the squares, I was able to get 3 squares of the same size for this card instead of having one that's a different size, a smaller one. And we're gonna use that congratulations again. We'll do our, well, we'll wait to do the stamping because I have to do it. We have to do it on the inside too. And this looks like a flaw in the cardstock, so we're gonna use that for the back. And we will fold it. And then the same thing, we'll do it this way. I like the lighter color on top and then go into the darker, or we could even do it this way, maybe like that. And if we put this one to the side again, same thing, lighter on top, darker on the bottom. And then we'll put this in the middle, and I did pop that up with dimensional, so we'll do that again. But these will go on with seal, just like the others did. So line it up again. And so I'm more concerned about the line at the top and bottom. I'm just eyeballing it on the side there. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And if my voice is changing, it's because I need to stand up to see if they're lined up. And so doing that puts my voice, makes it a little bit louder. Let's see, maybe I do want to twist this. So I don't want the purples just on the bottom. So maybe we'll do that. Twist it just a little. Now I am going to put the point right here on the line on my grid so that I can line it up on the other side. Oops, I just said I was going to move that, didn't I? This way. So I'm on this one, and then looking at top and bottom, that looks okay. And so then for this, like I said, there are dimensionals that come with the kit. They're the minis. I'm just going to use my regulars because I have those handy too. And we'll bump that up and take the paper off. And this, I don't want all white at the top, so we're going to move it around a little bit. That's why I turned it on that one. So I think we'll do it like that. And again, lining it up. That looks pretty good. So now we'll do the rest of our stamping. We're going to bring in, I did the smaller label, as you can see from that same set. Going to bring in that congratulations again. And again, we're going to ink it up with Highland Heather. And so now it is going to be a little tight, just like the Thinking of You was on the other one. But I just want to make sure you can read it. And you can, so the C is very much right at the top, but I think that works. So that will be the front, and then on the inside, I think we'll do the same thing. The You Are Amazing, because like I said, I don't know what I want to use it for yet. And last but not least, our inking or our stamping is done. We just have to put some embellishments after we put this on. This time I centered it, because I thought that was, you know, a better way, especially these being all the same size too. So we'll put that right underneath. That looks pretty centered. And then we just need embellishments. So I used the Regal foiled Adhesive-Backed dots again. So we'll put those on again with the Take Your Pick tool, using again the Berry Burst. So I really like the foil, the sparkle in there. Let's see, maybe we want to do something a little different this time. Maybe here and here and over here. So again, draw your eye around the card. So that is it. That is card number 3. Let me bring in the rest to show you. Or that was, I guess, technically card number 4. And number 3, number 2, and number 1. So let me know in the comments which one you like best. I really have a soft spot for this one. I like the softness of it, but I also like this one. Actually, both of these a lot too. So, and I think I like it on the pool party. So let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. If you make them, please post your picture in the comments too. I would love to see them. But thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you watching every month. Remember to take time and check out my other videos on my channel. Lots of other cards, scrapbook pages, home decor items, tips and techniques, beginner videos, lots there. Hopefully that you will find useful. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you click on the bell, you'll be notified when I post a new video, which I've been doing about one every week now. So much more frequently than before. So check all of those out. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Happy stamping.